What is up, people? I'm making this video just to kind of vent about the current state of the United States. Because it's just stuff that just blows my mind that people are so I don't know how to say it, just dumb about, and their mindset about certain things. And it's crazy how upset people get over all this stuff that's going on. So we have a new president, and whether people want to believe it or not, it's blatantly obvious when you look at everything between our two presidents that we've had recently. One is trying to make the country better and bring it back to the glory it had at one point. And the other, just clearly you could tell he just wasn't in charge. He was old and very senile, and the amount of stories you hear from people that worked with him one-on-one, where they just he blatantly just didn't know what was going on. So I think he had a good heart going into the presidency, but once he got into office and his age really took over, and he was just falling apart mentally. And with Trump right now, people need to realize he's not trying to make us the bad guys in the world. He's not trying to cause war. He's not trying to screw people over. He's trying to make this a good place to live again. And what I mean by that is, with the tariff stuff, obviously we know the result of, if you just look into it, what could happen. Prices of stuff could go up, and the whole point of the tariffs is to get these companies, which they've already had multiple companies move from out of the country to into the country. Just the Toyota Civic manufacturing factory that's in Mexico is moving to the United States, so they don't have to deal with the tariffs. And that's the whole point of them, is to get these countries, to get these companies that originally, years ago, let's say 30 years ago, moved all of their factories out of the United States to these places where it's just cheaper labor. And what he wants to do is kind of force the hand and be like, hey, move back here. You don't have to pay these extra fees. And it gives us more jobs in this country. Look at Detroit. That was the state that created all of the vehicles in the United States. And now there's not a lot going on there. A lot of homeless people, a lot of abandoned housing, all that stuff. So that's what the hope is for it, for the whole tariff thing. And it's not a guarantee, because if it doesn't work, then you can immediately just be like, okay, the next president comes in, not working, so get rid of these tariffs, and goes back to the way it was. So it's not that big of a deal. And when people get upset because with the whole Ukraine-Russia thing, and, he wants to resolve that situation, clearly. But, like, the two sides are just, like, not happy with the result of it, or the agreement, so it just continues to go on. And people need to understand, like, yes, we can support Ukraine, but the United States is, like, the main country that is funding the war over there. And out of all of the UN nations, why do we have to do that? It's our taxpayer dollars that are going over to them. And then, like, I don't know if it's true or not, but, like, finding out that, like, they're selling some of the stuff that we are giving them, like weaponry and all that stuff. Like, if that's true, that's just mind-blowing. But, just all of that. It's like, why do we have to pay our taxpayer money to them? Like, that money should be going to the people. And it should be, if we're gonna, help fund them in, keeping their country alive and going, why don't all these other countries that are in the UN evenly give the same amount of money? And that's another thing that Trump is trying to do. He's like, most of the money involved in this stuff is from the United States. There's a big portion of it from the U.S. Like, the UN, or the UN's defense fund, is mainly United States money. Like, if the U.S. is spending 80%, then all these other countries are paying like 5%, or, something like that. And it's crazy. So I agree with the stop doing that and focus on America first. And then, like, another thing, people getting upset with, like, Elon Musk, like, them getting mad at him for stuff. It's like, he got hired to do a job, and his job is to find all of this fraudulent money that's being spent in our government, and he's doing that, and people are upset over that. Like, why are people upset because he's finding that our taxpayer money is going to, we don't know. It's clearly not going to these organizations. Look at the Pentagon. For like 30 years or something like that, they've failed every single audit. Every single one. They don't know where millions and millions of dollars have been going. And that's out of our taxpayer money. And why are people upset that he's finding out this information? It's like, you can't win with people. Like, the Democrat and Republican parties are, like, so different. Like, they have the same, like, wants that they want to do, but like I don't really associate with either. I just kind of associate with whatever one that I agree with the most. And currently, like, I agree with a lot of the things that Republican people say. And, finding out all of this information that, like, our government's been, like, screwing us over money-wise for years and years, like, it's messed up. And the Democrats are kind of just, like, they want to hide all of that stuff and not let the people know. But it's nice to have a current government that's just open and telling you everything. And, I like that. But, yeah, I don't understand what's going on with people and the country. You can't make anyone happy. Like, I keep seeing on Twitter that people will be like, oh, look, another SpaceX rocket has exploded during, takeoff or whatever. Oh, there goes all of your taxpayer money. It's like, why didn't you make that post for the last freaking 60 years when NASA has been doing that? Like, people have died in NASA's hands, and we're not complaining about our taxpayer money with them, but we're complaining about it with SpaceX, but that's only because Elon's associated to it. So it's like, stop being so biased, man. You're being so one-sided. Like, if you're gonna get mad at one thing, get mad at the other. That's how it should work. But people are just so one-sided and so like, this is my beliefs and I'm sticking to it. Like, there's no change in anyone. But yeah, I don't know. This is kind of just like a vent of me just not understanding where people are right now. Like, I'm happy that, our government currently isn't really trying to hide that much about us or that much information from us. They're actually like letting it all out, being like, hey, look at all this money that's been like spent. Like, do I think we should have spent billions of dollars on, sending money to another country for war? No, because with those billions of dollars, we could have free healthcare in this country. But instead, it's going to another country, and they continue to keep getting more and more money and more. And it's like, we could have free healthcare. We could not have a homeless problem. People finding jobs wouldn't be a problem. All that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just it's just my thoughts. Let me know if you want to continue this conversation. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, thanks for watching.